Hey guys, yesterday I was going to answer a few questions for you guys. So I just got done working out. I did a full body workout today. Normally I break it up into body parts. Usually I do chest Monday, back on Tuesday, legs Wednesday, chest again Thursday, and then usually either arms or shoulders on Friday, and then Saturday. Whatever I hit Friday, it depends on Saturday, either arms or shoulders. And so I like to always hit a body part um, at least twice a week. Sometimes on legs, the weeks that I go heavy, uh, I'll just go once. And I noticed a lot when you go heavy, especially with a compound movement like a back squat or a deadlift, even a bench press. Um, it's not necessarily recovery from the muscle. It's more you're more needing recovery of your central nervous system. Central nervous system is really what drives, uh, a lot of weight. Um, and so, this full body program that I'm doing, this week, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Um, it's just kind of giving my nervous system a break. I'm going to do more bodybuilding training. Usually I stick around, that 3 to 5 rep range. I do a lot of strongman slash, I guess you could call it power building. And so I enjoy it because I've always enjoyed compound lifts. I've never been somebody that enjoys, uh, machines or cables due to the fact that, it's good for isolation and to detail the muscle, and it's got its place, especially with bodybuilding, with aesthetics and everything. But it was never really my thing. And so I've been starting to implement a little bit more of that, increasing the volume. And I've noticed a lot of great results. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all about mixing up your training. And so, yeah, today, and by the way, I'm going to start recording workouts as well. The workout that I did today, it was full body. I started off with an incline bench press, 5 sets of 5 with 120 pounds. Incline's probably the best exercise for chest due to the fact that, you know, a lot of times when people want a really big chest, they'll just do flat bench, flat dumbbell, barbell, or flies, and that's good. But the thing is, when you're flat, what happens is you're really just shaping around the muscle. So you've got the pectoral major and pectoral minor, and then you've got your upper pec. And so the thing is, when you're flat, you're mainly working this region right here. When you do incline, you're mainly working this part. And so aesthetically, if you're wearing a shirt, or not, even without a shirt, you'll look fuller and look like you have a bigger chest due to the fact that because you're stimulating the upper pec, what happens is now you get that fuller look. Whereas if you just work this region, what happens is it's just going to be kind of that flat, but you'll look good from this angle. And I know, especially with bodybuilding, it's not just about looking good from one angle, but 360. The full effect. So yeah, and so what I'm gonna do. Uh, getting back to the workouts, I did 5 sets of 5. After that, Uh, I did back squat. My back squat max is 585. Today, this week I'm taking it easy, so I did, a couple doubles and singles, and just worked up to 405 for a single. And then after that, I did 3 sets of 8 with 225 pounds of double pulse squats. So basically, a double pulse is like a squat. You're squatting below parallel, you pump up to about parallel, back down, explode up. So that's one. So I really like that due to the fact that I get a really good pump in my legs. I don't have to go really heavy, and it's good conditioning too. And yeah, so I did 3 sets of those, and then I moved on to work my back and my posterior chain. And my what I did for back was I did rack pulls 315, 3 sets of 10, really just focusing on the squeeze. And with the rack pulls, I did it with a snatch grip, so it's a wider grip. And the purpose of that is you're able to tie in, I feel, I'm able to tie in my lats a little bit better. Um, and also, the good thing about pulling something heavy is that's really how you develop big traps. You see jokers in the gym, doing the shrugs, with 150 pounds, and all they're doing is moving their neck down. And so it's really when you're doing a compound lift, and it's a heavy weight and you're pulling it up and you're really stimulating those traps to grow. If you look at most of the CrossFit athletes, they have big traps because they do a lot of Olympic lifting, heavy loads, whether it's a snatch, deadlift, clean and jerk. So I did those. I really enjoyed the rack pulls 3 sets of 10, and then or 3 sets of 8, and then I supersetted those with Supermans. Supermans, they kind of vary, within the fitness industry. Pretty much anything, you've got so many different versions of things. But what I did is I laid flat on my stomach. Now what I did is I would lay down and my feet were up, but I was tucking that belly button in, maintaining good posture. And what I did is I reached out and pulled back. And so that felt pretty good, right after the heavy snatch grip rack pulls. And then, just doing something, body weight, really working those little muscles and just getting, blood flow. And I got a good pump from it, actually. And so I did that for 30 seconds. And so, again, go through that 3 times. And then the last part of the workout, what I did is just simple shoulder things. What I basically did for shoulders, whenever it's full body and I do shoulders, a lot of times, I pick and choose what I'm really gonna go heavy at. So kind of like with shoulders today, I took it easy. I used 15-pound dumbbells, and I call them 888s. You do 8 front raise out front, 8 to the side, and then a bent over raise, and I feel really good pump through my shoulders and through my traps on the bent over side raises. And so, yeah, that was good, and that was what my workout consisted of today. I'm trying to think. So, yeah, I mean, are all my workouts going to be like that? No. It's just at the end of the day, I'm trying to mix it up, keep my body guessing. And, I thought it was a productive day. So, let's get on to these questions. So, Ashley Knoll, she asks, I know you lift heavy. Is your emphasis on form or just trying to get the PR? So obviously, whether it's bodybuilding, CrossFit, or strongman or Olympic lifting, form is always going to be crucial, especially if you're trying to lift heavy and it's going to prevent you from injury, and a lot of that stuff, it's a functional movement, compound lift. So a lot of these stuff or a lot of those things will transfer into real life events. So I always focus on form, but what I also do that a lot of people don't do is I take a lighter weight and I practice like if I'm doing a deadlift, I'll take 135 and practice rounding out my back when I go down. Now, obviously, is that where you want to be when you deadlift? No. But when I round it out, what I'm doing is I'm creating good mobility through my spinal erectors. And so what a lot of people don't realize is when you're constantly pulling, a decent weight to a heavy load, those spinal erectors, they get tense, tense, tense. And what I found is when I, take 135 or 225 and really stretch and come up, I feel that my spinal erectors get a good stretch and they respond well. My posterior chain has been stronger than ever just due to the fact that, I've already had a strong one, but, adding the mobility as well. So, to answer your question, PRs are great, but I really emphasize on form. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question, can you transform me into your test dummy? Nelson Fowler. That's a good one. A test dummy. I'm gonna have to go with no on that one, due to the fact that, you're pretty shredded already. So I mean, you don't need to be a test dummy. Um, okay, next question. What muscle group do you prefer supersetting? And this is from Anthony. Uh, the muscle groups that I enjoy supersetting a lot, obviously, it's going to be pretty much like any other person, chest and back. Sometimes chest and back can be very taxing on the central nervous system due to those are two major muscle groups. And so, if I do a superset, usually some workouts I'll just do 10 rounds of a heavy bench press, for 3 reps with like, you know, 405, and then I will do, weighted pull ups or bent over rows or rack pulls. And so, yeah, that's an example, but you can do other things. It could be body weight, such as push ups and pull ups, but, that's probably my favorite muscle group to train with a superset. But you just got to be careful with the nervous system because those are two major muscle groups. Okay. Arms are a good group to superset just due to the fact they're not as big. They're not any of the major muscle groups in the body. So arms are good due to the fact that you're gonna get a great pump, but it's not as taxing on the nervous system. Um, so I hope that answers your question. Okay. Next question. So I want to know about long-term and short-term goals physically, implications of not being a student and having patience to be humbled and to learn from others. And then where do you want to be at 70? And this is from Jacob Owen Weingrad. Put this thing. And so, to answer your question, my short, how do I put this? So my long-term goal obviously is to, do this for a long time, just to be healthy. I think a lot of people with short-term, it's obviously to, you want to look good. For me, short-term, it's always been to see how strong I can get. You only have a certain window of opportunity to actually test, strength. So I think, being in your 20s is a good time to test that. So that's a short-term goal. Right now, my deadlift is 725, so I'd like to get in the eights eventually. So, I'm working on that, and so I hope that answers your first questions. Your second one, implications of not being a student. Um, yeah, I mean, with not being a student, obviously you don't have. Um, Again, the nervous system's key. When you're in class and in school studying, it's very taxing on the nervous system. I know a lot of students take stimulants, to help study, and a lot of times people take pre-workout, right after before to go to the gym, and they get motivated, and that's fine, and it'll help. But with all the stimulants, what happens is your nervous system and your adrenal glands fatigue, and so you'll get that feeling of lethargy, lack of motivation. So it's something to watch. Um, and so being a student, it can be tough, and just dealing with the grind of worrying about tests and exams and things like that. So I think when you have less distractions, your goals are a lot better. And it doesn't have to be with school. It's you hear people at the gym say, I used to be really big at 20 years old, and then I had kids and a family. Their lives changed. So it's really anything can kind of throw you off. But I hope that answers that question. Second one, having patience to be humbled and to learn from others. So obviously, it's the with fitness, whether it's running, powerlifting, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, strongman, any of those things. With those things, you will be humbled. Uh, you can take the best CrossFit athletes, they're the fittest people in the world, and they're still dying, at the CrossFit Games every year. And so, especially when lifting, it's good to never get complacent And it's good to mix up your workouts and maybe go heavier or see if you can get extra reps, and that's good because then you keep making progress, and then if you fail, it kind of keeps you humbled and it keeps you motivated to get back at it. um, and as far as like other people's mistakes, it's kind of like, I'm not going to be the guy that um, brags about, my leg extension max and then tear my Achilles. So it's things like that. It's stupid garbage and trash you'll see at the gym. The guy that loads up like 315 on a barbell and tries to do a jerking curl and tears his bicep and then he's out for like 6 months. So there's a lot of goofballs out there. Or, you've got the guy that back squats, like 20 plates on his back and then, blows a knee. And so, it's just stupid stuff like that. Um, so where do you want to be at 70? I mean, I just want to be healthy, you know, no fitness issues, just, functionally strong, and, I want to look good too. Um, my recovery. So my recovery, the biggest thing I do is cryotherapy. Cryotherapy is really good for inflammation as well as managing stress. Cryotherapy, I noticed, especially after, leg day, uh, I was I recovered faster. I wasn't as sore, and I also would do 2 minutes in the ice chamber, but then I'd also do the Normatec sleeves. They go on your legs, so they're basically compression. So basically, it squeezes and brings like fresh oxygenated blood to the muscle. So I do a lot of that. Believe it or not, I try and get sleep. 8 to 10 hours. Sleep is very important. You tear muscles down in the gym. Your diet needs to be on point to recover, but then where you really make those gains is if you're sleeping and getting enough rest. And so um, another thing for recovery, making sure I get enough of my macros. um, Making sure my diet's always on point. I don't follow a specific diet. uh, if it rots, I'll eat it. It's got to be natural food. If you get this stuff, from freezer bags that you can get at Walmart or HEB, what happens is that stuff never rots, and so you're eating something that's processed, and so you want processed results, or you want half results. Eat processed food. If you want really good results, you have to eat natural food. Um, and then next question. So I hope that answers your question. Sydney Bell, end goal. My end goal, obviously, kind of like what Jacob had asked, it's just, to be healthy, and to just see myself get stronger and to keep pushing. Um, Someone who motivates you. Someone that motivated me in fitness, and it's really not anyone in particular. You kind of just pull from different people, and so you'll kind of say, wow, that guy is really that Iron Man is motivating because he's got good mental strength, mental toughness. Or you can say, that guy at the gym that deadlifted 700 pounds or 1,000 pounds. You could just say, wow, I'm gonna be that that strong one day. So it kind of varies. I'm kind of like a composite, with who I look up to. um, and then what got me into bodybuilding, what got me in is a little bit it had to do a little bit with baseball. Just being familiar with the weight room, and then also I think it had to do with when I went away to college. The athletic or the strength program, we didn't have one. It was it was a joke. We would just run, and so you would play other schools and they're bigger and stronger. So I wanted to keep up. I had a membership at like the Chuck E. Cheese of Fitness, Planet Fitness, and I'd work out there, and then I kind of kept seeing progress, and then just kind of kept at it. And so, like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you want to look back 5 years and say, and be able to see how far you've come. So those are Oh, one more question. Weston Tally. So Weston asked, what supplements do you take? So I really don't take a lot of supplements. I take a whey protein by NutriKey. It's got 23 grams of protein, just a simple whey protein. It's like $30. And then I take a nighttime recovery. It's Amino PM by Muscle Elements. It's a great product. It's great for joint repair, pretty much everything with recovery. It's got a sleep aid, so it really makes sure that you get those 8 hours of sleep. But as far as supplements, that's really all I take. Uh, Most, with bodybuilding, powerlifting, or CrossFit, any fitness thing, most of your nutrition is best gonna come from natural food. You can't really beat natural food. Supplements are called supplements because they supplement what you're not getting in your normal diet. So, yeah, I think those are all the questions. So, I will continue doing these videos. I'll do another video tomorrow night. So, the trend and how this thing is going to work is during the day tomorrow or even after this video. I want you to send in, any questions via Instagram or YouTube until around 3 o'clock tomorrow, and then every night at around this time, I'm gonna record a video regarding those questions. And so, to answer some of your questions earlier, yes, I'm gonna do a workout video soon. Uh, I'm just trying to pick the right time where it's not too busy at the gym. So yeah, so like I said yesterday, let's stay in a pack and let's go after these goals together. So thanks for listening, and remember to put those questions in the comments or via Instagram, and I will see you guys tomorrow.